I'm Zach Bagans, paranormal investigator. For the past 13 years, I've investigated over 1,000 hauntings. I have a series on the Travel Channel in the US called Ghost Adventures. I'm one of the world's leading researchers on ghosts and demonology. And this is the case that really fucked me up. The story was huge. It was the next Amityville. And I went all out. I had plenty of resources, equipment, a great crew. I thought I was gonna crush this story. But in the end, nothing was as it seemed. I fell ill and couldn't leave my room for 8 days. I didn't feel like myself. Crew members quit on the spot or had to get fired. Witnesses and experts ended up in the hospital. And at the heart of it all was a little screwed up house. It took me 3 years to finish this film. I had everything I needed. But the truth is, this film is cursed. In 2014, I had a nightmare where I'm a spirit hanging out with other spirits. And I show them this trick I can do, moving an object on a table without touching it, like what I try to get spirits to do during my investigations. Then I'm suddenly in front of a door, and I can't control my body. And the door opens, and a 12-foot tall goat figure is standing there. And dark black smoke comes out of its mouth, and I'm forced to inhale it. When I woke up, my lungs hurt, and I knew this was some serious shit that meant something. A week later, a story about a demon possession in Gary, Indiana makes international news.
Look at one of the most documented cases of demon possession and exorcism in recent history.
While this news is breaking, I'm filming a show in California when I start getting calls about it. The next day, over the phone, I buy the house, sight unseen.
Now, Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
That portal to hell house that we've been telling you about in Gary, Indiana, where so many eerie things are said to have happened, has just been sold. And wait till you see who's moving in.
The new owner is Zach Bagans.
What on earth were you thinking buying this house?
A week later, I arrive with a film crew. A woman named Latoya Ammons, along with her young children and her mother, are the family at the center of this haunting. Unfortunately, they've since moved out and some squatters have moved in. It takes some convincing to get them to leave.
Hello?
Hey Charles, it's Zach. Did you call?
The boyfriend should be getting there really soon. I told him it was seriously important. I talked to him about 2 minutes ago.
Okay, thanks Charles.
Yeah, I gotta get a few things. I'm Eddie.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Fiance, man.
Oh, yeah. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Man, you want to talk to my friends while I'm in here?
Your friends? Yeah. Who's your friends?
Oh, man. I can tell you some shit.
This is my first steps right now inside the home. And, wow, this is it, huh?
Yeah.
Then psychic medium Chris Fleming sends me a text. He's heard I bought the house. He sends me a warning that I'll never forget. He tells me there's a 12-foot tall demon guardian, just like the one from my dream, at that house. And I better stay the hell away from it. I should have taken his advice. But I didn't.
I just got the keys to the demon house.
So I have the house, but I don't have Latoya Ammons and her family, who were allegedly possessed in the house. They've moved away to Indianapolis, so we go searching for them.
Well, this is it. This is what it all comes down to after numerous conversations with Latoya and her mother about them debating on whether or not they want to talk. They'd do an interview with me. They always said they'd return our phone calls, and they never did. So we were able to find their address. I have to go try and talk to them. We're in Indianapolis. Latoya did a news story like a year ago or something, and we were able to find this news story that wasn't related to her exorcisms about a mold problem here in these apartments. And you could see her standing there with the address on the right-hand side, and that's how we were able to be led here.
This whole story started in 2011 when the Ammons family moved into that old rental house in Gary, Indiana. They started hearing footsteps going up and down their basement stairs, saw shadowy figures in the living room, and flies swarmed their screened-in porch in the dead of winter. A local Catholic church told them their house was haunted by spirits, and a couple clairvoyants claimed that the house was home to 200 demons. Then it started affecting their young children more. They started having dark conversations about death with people who weren't there. A family doctor wrote it off as delusions. Then on April 27th, 2012, everything blew up. Now I'm outside their new home, 150 miles away, hoping they'll talk to me.
Someone in there.
How are you?
Is Latoya or Rosa here?
Yeah. How are you, Matt? We talked on the phone.
Hey, how you doing?
Weeks ago. This is Zach.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I thought you looked for TV. How you doing?
Good.
Pretty good.
I wanted to see if Latoya or Rosa would want to talk to us.
Okay. I'll see if we want to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah. See what happens. It's bullshit.
I knew it.
They don't want to do anything with the documentary.
Oh, she won't? Okay.
Kevin explains they won't speak to me because I've spent time in the house, and they fear things have attached themselves to me. Luckily, Kevin is willing to talk.
What did you notice first?
I was told not to even go in the house. It was really affecting the kids and my sister the most, you know, and really the youngest, my nephew. It was really letting him have it. It was hurting him, you know, things like that of that nature. Then, like when they came to see me and stay with me those few days and nights, it was attacking them in my home. I heard it. I was upstairs in my bedroom and I heard, whoom. They were all sitting in my living room and they started this little weird, evil little chant out of nowhere, and it started with my youngest nephew started. He stopped. My oldest nephew picked it up. He stopped. My niece picks it up.
Are you okay?
We were taking them to the car, and then all of a sudden my one nephew started attacking the other one. And then my niece just started attacking. They just kept attacking each other.
Get off the car.
And my nephew looks up at my mom and says, "Get your hands off me, you old bitch."
I said that's enough.
That's it.
Get your fucking hands off.
Fuck you all this car, bitch.
Has they ever talked to your mom like that?
They would never do that. No,
Ever?
Ever. I had my oldest nephew, and she had him, and he looks at him, and he said, "Are you ready to go, my brother?" "Yes, yeah, my brother, I'm ready to go." All of a sudden, it just started grabbing my oldest nephew, just slam him in the back, and he just kept throwing his kids. I don't know exactly why it shows my family. I don't know, it was...
Do you think it was in the house?
I'm thinking it's the presence that was in the house before they moved there.
Do you think it's dangerous for me to be in that house?
I wouldn't be there. No way I would be there.
After meeting with me, the Ammons won't let their brother back in their home because I've been inside the house and the spirits could have transferred over to him. Next, I tracked down Father Michael Maginot, the priest who performed multiple exorcisms on the Ammons family, to fill me in on the next part of the story.
They called 911.
They called 911.
They did.
Ambulances came. They took the boys to the emergency room.
When they got to the hospital, were there still strange things being reported by the emergency room staff?
Yeah, there was one boy who was very violent.
Could you mention about the hospital again? Tell Lieutenant Kristoff. Yeah, what happened?
My granddaughter would get in her head and she could hear them talking in her head. It does to my daughter too. They say little crazy stuff to them in their head, and my granddaughter's "I can't take it anymore. Remember, I make them stop. I can't look in their eyes. I can't look in their eyes." I said, "Sit down, don't look at them." So I'm watching her, and I'm watching the one on the bed. His head is doing this. His eyes are rolling around, and he's talking in the crazy voice. "I've been here long enough. I came to kill. I'm going to kill now." This is how he started talking.
What happens next is witnessed by hospital staff and Child Protective Services case manager, Valerie Washington.
So I have the intake officer's report, and this is by Valerie Washington, the family case manager, dated April 23rd, 2012.
Okay.
And this was Valerie Washington that did say, later that evening, he began to growl. He charged at the grandmother's stomach and head-butted her several times.
I said, "That's not Andrew, Toya." And he whirled around on the footstool. And he had that evil smile on his face, and I walked up to him. I said, "You're not my grandson. You're a demon." He turned around. He turned backwards. He walked up the wall backwards.
Oh, help him, please! Jesus, help him! Get him on the wall! Get him on the wall! He's on the
He went up
He
the
took
wall
his
real
feet,
fast.
standing like this, facing the wall this way, and went up the wall and came back around and stood back in front of us.
What did you do when that happened?
I left the room.
She walked out. I saw her.
That was it, huh? You were done. Ran out the room.
I saw you go.
So there's the CPS worker right there admitting to the police that's filming this that she did witness this boy walking backwards up the wall.
Who else was in the room when that happened?
The psychologist.
The psychologist was there
He was
too.
there. He had just examined.
Okay. What did the psychologist say?
He left the room too. So wait.
Okay.
You haven't been here since the last time.
I haven't been here since the day after he came. And when I came
This home video was shot by police doing a wellness check on the Ammons 1 week after the incident at the hospital. This is the first time the Ammons have been back to their home since then.
Is everything pretty much intact when you guys left it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, whose room is this? Oh, so you had the front room, nice.
I had to stay in.
One of the officers that was there that day was Captain Charles Austin, who had been there a month earlier on a Child Protective Services call.
Why did you come here in March 2012?
I'm the watch commander for the police department. One of the sergeants stated that he was dispatched to this location to assist Child Protective Service in removing 2 or 3 children who had not been attending school. Upon walking in, he saw several crucifixes, candles which had been burnt, and Bibles. And he stated that he had an eerie feeling within inside the residence. In my 37 years of police investigation, I've never run into anything like that before. So we stayed up here for approximately 45 minutes, and I was in disbelief.
What time do the things in this house usually start? You said in the evening?
You don't have a special time.
I'm saying, yeah, okay, right. This is really occurring.
The officers then went down into the basement.
And it was a table with a crucifix, a Bible, and a candle which had been lit. We stayed down here for about 15 minutes, and he was videotaping. I was taking my iPhone, and I was taking pictures and whatever. And I said, it's time for me to leave. I've had enough. I immediately started walking. And as I walked, I say, that's weird. I don't know that much about construction, but why would somebody concrete a whole basement and leave dirt under the stairs? I say, that don't make sense. And as I looked closer, I saw a foil pan with a candle. Don't make sense. Don't make common sense.
At this stage of the police investigation, what Captain Austin perceives as odd may be something much graver. Is it possible this discovery is the remnants of a ritual? One capable of conjuring something terrifying?
Then, in fact, things start occurring.
What do you mean things? What kind of things?
We noticed when we went in the basement, there's actually 2 doors. The one on the left that actually goes to the room, at various times we were in the basement, it was in a different position and neither one of us had went into the room.
I had an audio recording that I was walking around the house just making notes or commenting on things. There was an unusual, unidentifiable voice that appeared on that audio.
Oh, they're burning stuff all over the place here.
That's where.
I'm surprised the fire department hasn't been here.
It sounds like haze to me.
I'm surprised.
Did you hear that with your own ears?
When that happened that day, I did not hear any voice. I only heard it on the recording.
And I walked out of here and got in my unit, squad car, and I drove approximately 1.5 miles away.
Are you pulled over now?
All right, I'm in a gas station parking lot. And all of a sudden, the AM/FM radio in my car changed and went to static. And it said, "Who in there?"
The home's previous owner told me that other police officers had experienced things in the house that had caused them to quit their jobs and move away from the area.
I had come to the conclusion, because of everything that had transpired and all the things that I had witnessed and heard about, that it affected women and children physically and the stronger being men electronically. We set up another meeting to come to this house.
Who did?
Myself, the other officers, Child Protective Services.
The same CPS worker from before?
No.
Who?
She wouldn't come back.
Why?
She was terrified. Something was coming from underneath those stairs that was causing the whole house to turn.
In light of these developments, Reverend Maginot gets approval to perform a minor rite on the mother, Latoya Ammons.
You basically want to try to either aggravate the demon or abate it. But if it's consistent, okay, you're not really affecting the demon, and you may be endangering the person. Behold the cross of the Lord, fleet bands of enemy. May you be snatched away and driven from the church of God and from the souls redeemed by the precious blood of the divine Lamb. I saw she had an aversion to holy objects. I put the crucifix on her head. She began convulsing. I took it off. She stopped convulsing. And I did it a second time. Again, watching, consistent, and did it a third time.
Father Maginot sat on the couch with a Bible, some holy water, and some salt. And he was reading the Bible. He was just intense. He was really reading.
While Reverend Maginot tends to Latoya, the 3 police officers who are present begin digging in the basement, under the stairs.
We were digging whatever. He had dug about 4 feet.
The officer?
Right. And he found a nail, a fingernail, a clip-on nail. I think it was pink in color.
A nail.
Right. A fingernail, a clip-on nail. And he found some panties.
Panties?
Women's panties. Women's underwear.
Also dug up that day, a comb, 2 children's socks, a heavy bar, and a red tin. So who buried these objects under the stairs? And why?
Do you believe that that house was haunted before Latoya and her family moved in?
If those items were there from that original family, it could be. Now, I think it would be what you would call necromancy, which is trying to communicate with the dead.
We only assumed, because we had no expertise, that this was a portal to hell.
Upstairs, something begins to happen in the center bedroom.
We went in the center bedroom on the first floor, and the blinds were dripping oil. And Zach, they weren't dripping from the top as you would expect. They were dripping from the middle of the blinds. There was some liquid material that had appeared on some blinds in there, and we had no source for that material. We left the room. First, we photographed it and documented it, and then I wiped down the blinds. And then we sealed the room, and I thought, if the grandmother had went in there and introduced the oil, I wanted to make sure that she didn't go in the second time. So we stuck a Q-tip in the door, at the bottom of the door, and then we came back about 40 minutes later after Father Maginot had blessed the house, and the Q-tip was still in the door. We went in and the blinds were dripping oil again. Lieutenant Grushka actually went outside, and we shined flashlights on the outside of the windows to see if it was coming in from the outside or from the ceiling, and we could never determine the source, Zach.
This CPS worker would be the next to fall victim to the malevolent energy in this home.
The CPS opened the cabinet, and she took her left hand, I remember, she may be left hand, and she touched the dripping.
The fluid.
The fluid.
That you've been seeing.
Oh, right. And when she touched the fluid, her whole half of her hand changed, like all the blood had been drawn out of it.
It went white.
White. It was just completely white. And she had to leave the house.
She had complained of pain in that, and it did turn white.
I went on the investigation, like I said at the very beginning, thinking that it was a hoax. The more investigation we did, I believe that there's something there. There's just too many people that I know who are truthful people that saw things, that some of them which I saw, to discount everything.
I was talking to the Child Protective Services worker. Her hand was starting to come back to life.
Okay.
And Father Maginot came to the front porch stairs outside, and he stood there, and he looked. I say, Father, what's wrong? And he looked exactly like the CPS worker's hand. He was flush as a sheet of paper. And it was like, I said, what's wrong? And he said, the blinds are dripping.
With so many unrelated people finding themselves entangled in this demonic web, Father Maginot is compelled to help the Ammons. Evidence in hand, he requests permission from Bishop Dale J. Melzick to conduct an official exorcism on Latoya Ammons. His request is granted immediately.
I adjure you, ancient serpent, by the judge of the living and the dead, by your creator, by him who has the power to consign you to hell.
Latoya would later recount, this was the moment she felt the spirit lift from her. The stories I had heard about this haunting were compelling, but as I began my own investigation, there was just one nagging question. Was the whole thing a hoax?
Ben, your contract was unenforceable. What I am telling you is that Father Mike still is under the belief that he only granted you documentary rights. Number one.
In early 2014, I get a call from the producer of a very big horror film from a few years ago. He's threatening me because he wants the film rights to the Ammons story. Due to privacy laws, his identity is disguised here.
Don't bully me around. Do not call me and threaten me. Don't call me and tell me that Mr. is this bigwig attorney and I better listen to what he's saying, because you're being documented right now by myself, listening to what appears to be threats. And I didn't want to go this route.
So Hollywood wants the rights, which means there's money in it for the major players, from the Ammons family to Father Maginot. And now the Ammons, who originated this story, won't talk to me. And they're apparently talking about a movie deal.
Oh, she won't? Okay. Are they doing something else with another movie producer?
That's what it is.
They are?
Yeah.
Charles Reed, the home's original landlord who I bought the house from, and who had owned it for roughly a decade, told local media that he was skeptical. I thought I heard it all. This was a new one to me. My belief system has a hard time jumping over that bridge. And the people who were squatting in the house when I bought it originally told me they didn't experience anything there.
You know, this is...
make you say a whole lot of stuff.
Do you think it's all about money?
Yeah. You want to know the truth? Yeah.
You do?
They had all these reporters out in front of my house, and I refused to entertain something that I'm not seeing. So it's like it's a lie. To me, I've been here for 2 years. Now I see here occasional creaks and this and that, but I'm thinking the house is just old.
Whether the claims are real or false, I like to find out whether they're real or false. I'm not here to fabricate none or sensationalize on anything. If people are making this up, I'm going to catch them.
Well, if I'm telling you, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen any ghosts.
But as soon as I slipped her fiancé some money to leave, suddenly he had all kinds of crazy stories.
Yeah, man, you want to talk to my friends while I'm in here?
Your friends? Yeah. Who's your friends?
Oh, man. I can tell you some shit. When the inside edition, it really came, because they was at the story. And if I was able to negotiate, man, I had it in the bag. What you offering is peanuts, man. They came out here, Deborah Norwell, the other little lady, they was out there. The producer, man, oh man, I could be, when this first broke, Zach, you should have seen it, man. You just getting the ass end of it. You know, like I told them. And they, by me not being on a lease, I was done. I couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, have you seen things in here? Have you seen ghosts in here?
I'm not gonna tell you that until we sit down and make an agreement. You know, it's a market for it, and I seen the market with the people.
But your fiancée said that there's nothing in here.
But that's her story.
Inside Edition also wanted to talk to me, but instead I went to meet with the home's original owners. There I learned that other members of the Ammons family also took issue with the claims they were making.
Charles just got me an article here, and this was published February 5th, 2014. It says, the grandmother of the possessed kids insists none of this went on.
Could this be the other grandmother? I don't know. I read that
So Latoya Ammons, her mother, is the one that lived in the house
Rosa.
that witnessed all that stuff and did all the interviews stating that she saw the kids being lifted up and tons of other stuff. So now Latoya Ammons' stepmother, which is a different woman, my children, Latoya's brothers and sisters, are outraged, the stepmother told me. They know the true story and they're upset about the family's name being dragged through the mud. My family hoped this would all blow over. It has not. Wow.
Wow.
Also, a photo leaked online of a ghostly figure in one of the house's windows. But this was almost definitely faked using a cell phone app. On top of this, I had the house inspected, and the inspector found mold and other things that could have had a psychological effect on the residents.
So what does the house contain? Asbestos, black mold, everything?
Pretty much, you know, but it's not all, you know, circulating in the air. Like the black mold is up in the attic. So there's probably carbon monoxide leaking out of the furnace, the water heater exhaust, and it goes up into the chimney, you know, which goes up the levels, the floors of the house. So that, you know, that can, you know, seep out.
Okay, can that make you feel dizzy or euphoric?
Oh, for sure.
And then you have to think about too if any of those elements would affect the human mind or the body to perceive those side effects as paranormal induced type euphoria and spirit energy. So it's something to take into consideration.
I was starting to think this may be an overblown case of mass hysteria, or that there was some other normal explanation that was now being turned into a money grab. But then, with my own investigation, shit got crazy. One day when we're filming at the house, a woman drives by and says she used to live there in the 90s.
You got my audio, Jay? Check, you got it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you used to live in here?
Yes, I used to stay in that house.
She used to live here how many years?
We stayed like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
My mom moved here first, and then I moved in with her.
Did you all hear about what's been going on in here?
Yes.
You guys have all heard about it? Has your mom been telling you about it?
It's on Facebook.
I know exorcism have happened.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened here. If the claims are true about the demons being in here, I just want to make sure it's okay for them to be in here. Because the other family did have 3 kids that also lived
Oh,
in
for
here.
real?
Yeah, except they were two boys and 1 girl.
What?
Mom, are you giving them permission to go inside?
Yeah, y'all just gotta be careful, because like I said, I ain't been here in a couple of years. Yeah, my mama landlord used to own this house.
You ready?
Yes, I am ready. Oh my God. This is my room. The skeleton key doors. These used to be skeleton keys.
Really?
The skeleton, no, the doors are skeleton keys, so they changed the doors.
Yeah.
This is my room.
This was your room right here?
My bed is right here.
How old were you then?
I was 19.
Teenagers?
Yes, I was 19.
Yeah. What's it feel like to be back in here?
Oh my God, I'm shocked.
Yeah? Mika, do you ever remember anything happening to you or your friends or your family that was strange?
Well, my friend Kanisha's like, when we used to leave my friend Kanisha here, and when we would come back, she used to be like saying stuff like she heard noises,
Did she ever say what kind of noises?
like footsteps going.
She did hear people walking around.
That's the basement. I never went to the basement, so.
Did you never like to go in the basement? Do you want to go in the basement now?
Yeah, if you go first.
You okay? You need a hand? You good? Why did you never want to come down here? Did you just feel something bad down here?
I didn't come in the basement. This is my actually first time being in the basement. I never came into the basement. I promise. Danny, kick me.
Kick you?
Yes, you did. Don't kick me.
Yeah.
Bitch. I'm gonna excuse my French. I'm sorry.
No, you say whatever. You can say whatever you want.
I don't know.
What's wrong?
Upon reviewing the video with greater brightness, you can see her leg buckle. But nobody kicked her.
I never came to the basement, I promise. Danny, kick me.
I didn't kick you.
Yes, you did. Don't kick me.
Do you not like it down here?
No, I never really liked the basement.
No, why not?
Just didn't.
No.
My brother stayed in the basement.
Is your mom okay?
I don't know. I guess she's scared. That's why she wanna leave.
Yeah.
She all creeped out. I want to do that little turn off the lights and then the green stuff so you can see it and hear everything.
The night vision camera?
Yeah.
It's scarier than watching it on TV.
Please,
they can
stop.
get inside of you and stuff and do all kinds of weird stuff. They can make you sick and that ain't fun. It's happened to me.
Who helped you? Like, get that stuff out of you?
A priest?
Oh. And that's when you start wanting to do ghost hunting?
Well, yeah, more or less investigating. That's what brought me here.
Like, is the demon still in the house or have they moved on?
I don't know. That's what I'm here to find out.
Will the ghost come to our house since she lived here?
Are you worried about that?
Yep.
You are?
Yep.
A real worry?
Yeah, because I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Mika's microphone has just picked up a mysterious electronic voice phenomena. It sounds like, "Run, Latoya." Latoya, of course, is the name of the mother in the Ammons family.
It's funny, her son was asking me with a serious look on his face if the ghosts were gonna follow him home. I don't know what's wrong with this boy. Cold with these demons.
After Mika and her kids leave, we set up this religious altar in the living room. Moments later, something I can't explain overcomes me. This moment is only captured on the surveillance camera.
Billy?
Yeah.
What in the fuck just happened?
Oh, you attacked Jay. You told him, get the fuck out. You said, get out, and then you like rushed him.
You like basically slammed me against the wall.
Give me the keys. Come outside for a bit.
I don't want to.
I know you don't. You need to though.
All right. Just hold on.
We leave and drive around for an hour. Then the man living next door calls me. He tells me there's someone on my porch trying to break in.
Are they turning into my house? Yeah, go over there. Go. All right, right now we are just around my house and we see 3 police cars turning down the street to my house. Yeah, pull up over there. Go, go, go. Hang on, let me go. Slow down, Matt. Jeez. God. All right, let's...
The police won't go near my house.
So, you think there's spooks in there?
What I've witnessed is yeah.
And you think our son was walking up the walls and stuff?
I saw the video that Chief Miller filmed.
You saw the video?
Yeah.
Never read the report? Go on, I ain't reading that. No, read the whole report. No. There's an actual, like, 5-page police report on this house. I got it.
If you want to wait, I'll take you guys in there.
No, I'm good. I don't want to go in now. Yeah, because I believe in that shit, and that shit might follow me home.
Chief said he refuses to ever do it because stuff follows you.
Yes, that shit.
And I won't tell him that.
I don't even like standing out here close to this place, man.
It's a different kind of haunting. It's not just
man. You ain't fucking with me, right? You telling me the truth?
Yeah.
I don't. Weird. Tear that motherfucker down, man. Oh, seriously, man.
No, we get answers.
No, I don't need no lead.
We can get answers.
You tear that motherfucker down, and what you gonna let loose on the world? Oh, true. What you think that thing's plugging?
The next day, we tracked down Valerie Washington, the original CPS case manager who quit and moved away.
Now, you were in the video that was shot by Chief Brian Miller.
Yes.
I'm gonna get ready to leave you guys.
Okay.
I got another case.
Okay.
Do you still feel what you witnessed that day was beyond the capabilities of a 9-year-old boy?
I'm positive in regards to that matter. It's sometimes even thinking about it again to kind of just throw me back into a series where I don't want to go back to. It's taken me a while to move past that. When he did walk up the wall before my eyes, he could not remember doing it 5 minutes afterwards, after he was questioned about it, after they asked him questions about it. Child couldn't remember. He looked at us like, what are we talking about? He didn't even understand the question that we were asking him. And the fact that myself and a psychiatrist witnessed this along with the family, we had no words to explain it because we didn't understand it either. And the child couldn't even explain it. He didn't even believe he did anything.
Do you believe that this family was possessed by these demons?
I believe that it was something going on there that was out of the realm of a normal living person. Something was going on. I can't even explain it at that house.
Have you sustained any emotional or mental trauma from what you witnessed?
Yes.
Is this a factor in you leaving here in Indiana?
It played into it because after that, a lot had changed as far as me trying to do my daily routine work. I worked as a child fatality worker. You know, I investigated children dying. I've seen children in various situations burned, beaten, but after that it was just, it was traumatic. And I also talked with a psychiatrist in regards to that, and she stated also it was a very traumatic experience for me, and that I did need to go and seek some help. I have witnessed that anyone that has ever went to that home, the effects that they had after they continuously went to that home, the things that happened to them. I do not like talking about it because to me, if you feed it as if you're scared, it will bother you.
The day before Father Maginot was going to perform the second exorcism on LaToya, he experienced what he describes as an attack while on a bike ride.
As I was driving through the neighborhood, anyone who looks up to me is staring at me with a puzzled look, like, what in the world is riding by, you know? And so that was happening all the way to the end of the path. And all of a sudden, I'm on the side of the path, thrown down. How did that happen? Then I looked at my bicycle seat and it was 45 degrees off.
I knew that the demon was trying to find out what would stop me from going forward with an exorcism. And I knew it. the demon didn't have much force to do that. And that was a scary moment, because what else can it do? I was baffled by it and wasn't going to let it stop me.
Okay. Captain Austin was also affected. Just 2 days after I interviewed him in the house, he found himself in the emergency room.
I exited the restaurant. I was in full uniform, and when I exited the restaurant, I had the dentist in my right hand. I was walking towards my squad car. I walked down the sidewalk, and as I walked down the sidewalk, both feet slid on the ice and went up about 3 feet in the air. Jeez. I did a somersault and fell on my head. I was unconscious for approximately a minute, and I was bleeding from my head. And everybody came out the restaurant, they was hollering and screaming, and they called the ambulance and they transported me to Methodist North Lake Hospital.
Captain Austin would also end up being shot during a home invasion, but he survived. As I make my way back to the hotel, I receive a phone call from a distressed Mika. Something is terribly wrong.
Yes, I was at my daughter's pageant. I don't know. My mama came back and they've been trying to call me. I just came in the house and they...
When did this happen? Just now?
I'm waiting on the police to come.
Will you call us back after the police leave?
Yes, sir.
On February 20th, 2014, just 2 days after visiting us at my house, Mika's daughter attempted suicide by overdosing on medication and stabbing herself. After this incident, one of my crew members quits immediately.
Okay.
Father Maginot.
Okay. Hi, Zach.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty
good
good.
to see you.
Good to see you.
This is Mika.
Hi, Mika. Hello. Father Mike.
It's been 3 weeks since I got the phone call about Erica.
This is Erica.
Okay. And Erica, please meet you, Father Mike. Okay.
Do you mind if I talk with her real quick?
Okay.
For like 5 minutes?
Okay.
Okay. Erica, do you want to?
Okay, and I'll get Bess.
Do you remember going in that house? Remember when you went in with me and your mom like a month ago? Do you remember when you went inside the house with me?
3 weeks. That's how long it's been since Erica spent time with me in the house.
Like, is the demon still in the house or have they moved on?
Do you remember a couple days later, things that were going on with you and your mom?
Partially. Like, that day was like in and out.
Okay. Do you remember what caused you to get angry?
Not that angry, no.
No?
No.
Okay. Did it feel like you? Or did it feel like just someone else out of nowhere?
Not when I threatened my mother.
Have you ever threatened her like that?
No.
Okay. What did you tell her?
That I was gonna kill her.
Okay. Okay. In her sleep? Okay. Do you remember hurting yourself that day? Do you remember stabbing yourself?
No, no.
She had holes in her, wrists. Her eyes were like red. And
How did she have holes in both her wrists?
In both her wrists. It was like little cuts, like she had stabbed her wrist.
With a pen?
And my sister's an RN.
In both these sides?
Yes.
Okay.
My sister's
like
an
where
RN.
Jesus would have been crucified?
Yes. It was scary because, like I said, I never seen that. Something was wrong. She wasn't Erica.
She wasn't
She was not Erica.
The influence sometimes surrounds a young girl or woman. When life is void to her, the influence whispers that it is her own fault, and that she is worthless and should commit suicide. Dear sister, do not believe it. Satan was a liar from the beginning.
Okay, then we'll just have to sit right here then. O water creature of God, I exorcise you in the name of God, the Father Almighty, the name of Jesus Christ, His Son, our Lord.
My daughter was screaming at me, talking about, I can't stand you, I can't stand you.
Is this typical of your daughter's behavior?
No. I mean, it was
You've
strange.
never seen the rage like this before?
No,
ever?
It was strange. It was like everybody was trying to calm her down and she was just snapping off.
Look down in pity on this your servant Erica, now in the toils of the unclean spirit, now caught up in the fearsome threats of man's ancient enemy, sworn full of our race.
Another weird thing that happened when we was at the hospital, and I'm not making this up on everything I love. My daughter was laying in the bed down where Erica got up. There was a 6 like engraved in our back. So my daughter was like,
wait, what?
A 6, like a number 6.
Was engraved in whose back?
It was in Erica's back. Mommy, Erica got a 6 on her back.
Do you remember seeing this 6 that was carved in her back?
She was being all calm and weird.
How was she being weird?
Because it wasn't her. Or like it was somebody else in her stomach or something.
Do you know how this 6 got carved in her?
Mm-mm.
It was a number 6.
Let us pray. God, creator and defender of the human race, who made man in your own image, look down in pity on this your servant Erica, now in the toils of the unclean spirit. So it seemed like that might have been, the moment.
Of what?
The moment that it might have
left her.
Okay. So it seemed like it. Okay. She, so I don't know if that's what she does. She doesn't remember that.
After news of Erica's attempted suicide hit the media, my dear friend, Debbie Constantino, who'd been on my show numerous times with her husband Mark, saw the headlines and began to try to make contact with the demon remotely.
What is Doc Megan doing right now? What's in his house in Gary, Indiana? How did it get there? And why didn't his daughter or any other family, just that family?
After her attempt, she called me and told me that she believed they had made contact with the demon at the house. The voice she captured is deep and difficult to understand. It almost sounds like it's saying something's wrong. Tragically, just a few months after this recording was made, Debbie and her roommate were murdered in a double murder-suicide at the hands of her husband. This hit me hard. I couldn't accept it. I felt like I'd lost a member of my family. I believe that certain environments can make demonic activity more likely. Poverty, high crime rates, murders can all contribute. Gary, Indiana unfortunately fits the bill, with over 1/3 of its population living below the poverty line and one of the highest murder rates in the country.
You guys ever heard gunshots around your neighborhood, around your house?
Yes.
We live down there.
Do you know where the house is, where the drive-by was?
Yes, it's like right.
That greenhouse right there.
A lot of the elderly are getting robbed here and houses are getting broken into. So we need to bring jobs back. We need to get the schools back open in Gary. It hurts me to my heart.
The Emmons' old neighbor told me that a total of 5 people died while living in the house. And one of those was a little boy that died in the back bedroom downstairs in the basement. It's the same bedroom that Mika's murdered brother had lived in. I also had to consider that someone close to the Ammons may have cursed the house and invited the activity on purpose. LaToya Ammon's former neighbor also told me that her ex-boyfriend may have been abusive. Was he the one who had put the altar under the stairs, possibly trying to curse her? I decided I would try to confront him to get some answers.
Far away.
2.7 miles.
Oh my gosh, my nerves are just fucking... Our secret informant who's been on surveillance over there just called and said that he's there. And right now I'm like really tense for this, but happy, excited, we'll see what happens.
I want to talk to him and ask him if he had anything to do with putting a curse on that family. Even if he won't tell me, I can still just get a good sense of his personality. I'll get a sense of his energy to see if he would be the type of person that would be into the occult.
It's gonna be him.
It's gonna be him?
Yeah, it's gonna be him.
Yeah, that's him.
Yep. Don't trouble nothing like that. Y'all gentlemen just want to go talk to you.
How you doing? My name's Zach. What I'm doing is I'm making a documentary. I told him what this was all about, and man, he just dropped his head. He's like, man, I want nothing to do with that. I don't want to talk about it.
He keeps repeating that he wants nothing to do with this.
All right, thanks for staying. Thank you.
It appears to be a dead end. I invite Dr. Barry Taff, who holds a doctorate in psychophysiology, a minor in biomedical engineering, and who's conducted over 4,500 investigations, including the famed Entity case in 1974, to help me try to decide if high levels of man-made electromagnetic or earth-made geomagnetic energy could be causing false positive paranormal events inside the house.
This is a frequency counter here. And it was amazing. Plugged it in and it showed 60 hertz fields throughout the whole house, higher than I would want, but it wasn't that bad. Then we come to this.
Dr. Taff, what is the geomagnetometer? What are we going to measure for here? Are these natural geomagnetic levels?
It measures the Earth's magnetic field primarily.
Okay. So this, we're not looking so much as the house.
Right.
But what's under the house in the ground.
Right, and coming up from it.
Right.
High levels of geomagnetic energy could trick the brain into thinking there was paranormal activity when there wasn't any.
This is very normal. You're getting low 500. This is what I would expect. You start getting over 600, 700, then you have a problem because it means something's creating this low frequency magnetic field. And what is it?
What are your readings?
Not normal. Everything's normal here. Took out the 60 hertz calibrated tri-field meter. Then, a few feet away from the wall, about halfway up my body, I started seeing like a 1 hertz oscillation. Look.
Yeah.
Why is it spiking here like this?
Why is it doing that?
I don't know. Look.
We tested the walls.
Look, it's not the wall, look.
Yeah. Why is it
I don't know.
Floating right there? That's weird. No, it's like gone.
So it's transient. And what was odd is the transient nature. It's not against the wall, it's not on the floor, it's not up above. It's a couple feet forward, a couple feet in the middle of the room, half my height up, and it's
oscillating. Whoa.
I'm getting hang on.
Yeah, let's turn. What's the matter?
Ooh.
Then shortly after is when I felt the pain in my temples.
Rush of energy, yeah.
And then I had to leave that room. And when I left that room, I started getting emotional a second time. Like I was just gonna cry, and then I would get aggressive.
My eyes begin hurting for no reason, and I don't realize it's a warning sign for what's to come.
That's what happens. It comes in and it'll hit.
Do it. Slap your hand together like that again. Just as you did that, we got a spike on the instrument.
That's what happens. It comes in and it'll hit me. Why would that happen?
Your body's in some way it's in some way affecting the electromagnetic field here. Your body is a capacitor. It's being charged up by this environment, and you discharged it.
Whoa, I'm getting crazy interference in here.
Let me see, I'm getting it off him then. Let's try magnetic or something.
I'm getting real aggravated.
Look. Oh, yeah. It's magnetic. Look. We didn't get that before, did we?
No.
20 milligauss coming off you. That's a little high. Why would your body be emitting? Now remember, biomagnetic fields are really weak. You shouldn't be able, you need a superconducting sensor.
And what was I giving off? 20 milligauss?
About maybe 8 to 12 million times normal.
What?
8 to 12 million times normal.
8
to 12 million. The average human body's magnetic field, we generate is measured in millionths of a Gauss. It's a 1 hertz. Look at it. It's like a, yeah, not a 1 hertz. Look, you see that? Wow. Interesting. And yet, move away from here to see if the space is affected. It stopped moving because he moved.
All of a sudden, something causes me to lunge at Dr. Taff, and as I force myself to walk away, realizing I may attack him, my cameraman captures the device spiking again at the same exact time as my hostile movement.
That thing just spiked when I did that. I get it. This is wrong. This is too much. What happened?
Do they have a dog next to us here?
A what?
A dog. Is there a dog?
No, there's no dogs.
Then I just heard it. Oh! You heard it here before I just heard it. I got where? Oh! From over there. Whoa! So it's a dog.
Where did you hear it?
Come from over here or over here? Just right here. Oh, look. Oh! I thought, well, there's a dog.
I heard dogs barking. I'm like, Toya, did you hear that? She said, huh? Did you hear them dogs? She said, I heard them. And she went right back to sleep. I'm like, no, wake up. I heard dogs. We have no animals.
Something starts to happen to Dr. Taff after he and my camera operator hear the growl. And now I'm noticing a pattern of how people act when the house is starting to have an effect on them.
Say whatever you want. I don't know. What's wrong?
They appear lost in thought and confused.
Do you want to get out of here for a minute? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Because you're...
And I just
making me a little
I need
concerned.
something to drink, like water.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel very... Yeah.
You don't...
I'm feeling dizzy here.
I'm noticing that you keep shutting your eyes and
because
swaying.
I feel like I'm going to fall backwards. I feel like I'm going to pass out. Let me see if I move.
Hang on, guys.
You okay?
As we head upstairs, I go outside to clear my mind from the house. And at that time, I don't notice Dr. Taft becoming affected again. Weeks after this investigation, we discover something disturbing captured on this camera while he walks in a state of confusion towards the back hallway. The black anomaly appears in 7 frames, shooting at 24 frames per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which means that when played at regular speed, the anomaly manifests in a fraction of a second. As Dr. Taft walks back, he places his hand in the exact spot where the black mass just manifested off the wall. At which time he immediately becomes affected again.
Oh, it's really bad in there. That same sense of nausea and like you're gonna throw up. Reverse peristaltic action, very strong in there.
I take the footage to Ed Wybe, who was a video engineer for NASA for 32 years.
Really increased the luminosity just a little bit just to see some of the other detail in the object. Prior to that, we can see that it's different intensities. There's not the same intensity. So say it was we thought it was a hand or something like that from someone else, from say the cameraman perhaps, his hand wouldn't be broken up into different intensities. It would all be one hand. I'm 100% sure that it is not the cameraman's hand. You've got the regular shadow of the cameraman back here. It's like a gray. Very light gray. But then, as the anomaly's happening, there's this real dark band of shadow all down in here. Well, we don't see it retract back into the wall. It's quite possible it could have entered the cameraman. I don't know if that cameraman had any problems after this shoot.
As a matter of fact, that cameraman did have problems. A little while later, he suddenly had to lie down. He then begins acting very strange, like he's confused. No one sees him wander off into the basement, alone. Later, we find the cameraman, Adam, lying on his back in the back bedroom where Mika's murdered brother lived. As we return to the hotel, that same cameraman, Adam, starts vomiting blood in my bathroom. He then leaves my room and begins screaming my name in a strange voice. We start rolling with our cameras.
What's wrong?
Where'd he go?
Film.
Wait. He's calling security.
I want to go to the house, man.
Come through here, fucker!
Whatever is affecting him, he's taunting it to do more.
Dude, what's wrong?
I want to get to the house, man. Fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
What's
Not
going on?
gonna fuck with me like that. Fuck that.
What's in the elevator?
Nothing. Nothing. It's a bitch. If there's anything here, it's a bitch. Here, fucker. Huh?
What is wrong with him?
Have you ever seen him like that before, Jay?
No, never.
How long have you known him?
Years? All right, watch out. The door's open.
That was the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like,
All right, hold on. What are you doing? What's wrong?
crazy.
Get back.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Sure. Just stay back. Let's go. For security.
At this same moment, 2 floors above us, Dr. Taff is also experiencing something strange.
Got back to the hotel and a strange sense of anxiety, irritability. I'm sleeping and suddenly, not in the room, in my left ear, I hear like a really loud bell. Blood jump out of bed. What was that? I suddenly fell over and I wake up and I'm on the ground.
When Dr. Taff gets up, he realizes he has blood in both of his ears. Meanwhile, back in the room with Adam.
What's happening? What do you feel? Like you were fine in here.
Just all of a sudden, like, felt like something was stabbing me in my stomach. I was throwing up blood. I went out to the elevator. Pressed the button.
Do you think that shit's making you puke and all that?
No, I don't. Just, you guys, can you just cut the cameras, man? Seriously. Fucking... You little shit like that, it's not gonna fucking...
Well, I think that's how this thing works, though.
It's trying to draw you in, piss you off, and...
Like, that's been happening the whole time we come here. There's, like, these little pokes at us. Like, these little things.
All right,
like, it
so, like,
fucks with us,
honestly,
you know?
between all of us, like... why the fuck would it fuck with me?
God, dude, I thought you saw a dead body in a fucking nowhere. Oh, I thought I was gonna open that up
There
and see
was
it
a face.
mutilated. What'd you see?
There was a face.
Could you get any details or anything?
I think you know what I saw, bro.
I had never told my crew or anyone else about the nightmare I had a week before I bought the house, where I saw the face of a goat man exhaling black smoke into my mouth.
Like, I shouldn't be really amped up right now. I need to calm down, I'm sorry.
Scared the shit out of me.
That scared the fucking shit. I'm not gonna lie to you right now, when that fucking door opened and that fucking goat man was standing there, like, for a second behind it, I fucking screamed like a little girl. Did you hear me call for Zach? Like,
I was like, fuck, dude, this
it
guy...
doesn't, it doesn't want me.
It wants him?
Yeah, it wants you. That shit scared me. Like, it wasn't just like, it was like the first thing that I thought was, this is real. Because I have to be honest, like, up until that moment right there, I didn't believe any of this, like, 100%. There's something, like, touching my hand right now.
What's it feel like?
It's cold. You got
Grab that meter over there.
Which one? 7.
Whoa, whoa. He has a field around him. Come over here. I felt it on my arm here.
You're a fucking bitch. Do something better than that. Do something better than that, you fucking bitch.
Feel around him. That just made my arm hair fucking stand up.
Do something better than that. I'm sorry.
These arm hairs just crawled up, like backed up off of him, like I was
You're a
like,
fucking.
like a towel out of the dryer. It's all staticky.
I'll find you.
A short time after returning home, Dr. Taft's organs begin to shut down one by one. Being in overall good health, the doctors cannot explain the cause of this.
So they started telling me my organs are shutting down and failing. All my organs started shutting down. My prostate, massive infection, my kidneys, my liver, my bladder was infected, my whole body was failing. But I mean, it was collectively, it wasn't like a little here, boom, 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 boom. It's like a cascade. This, boom, 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 boom. I felt nauseous and dizzy and went back to the hotel later on and I fell and then I passed out. I started to shake really bad and that's atypical. Did you ever go back to the house? No. I said, the man who hired me went back and he got sick. A cameraman was there and he got really sick and I saw it right in front of me and he got sicker than I did. What? Started shaking, nauseous, kept throwing up. It's all happening. See, the problem is it's all happening at the same time. That's what makes it weird. So, the problem is why are my organs all starting to shut down simultaneously? This place might have had a more dynamic and dramatic effect on me, but in a way I didn't understand until it all slammed me together. If my theory is correct that my body shutting down is the result of being in the demon house just for several hours, that's long-term effects. I was only there a few hours. If I'd stayed there overnight, given what's going on with me now, I'd probably be dead by now. Who knows what's going on there? It might, beside the paranormal phenomena, there may be other elements that are tied into it to explain this in ways we don't yet understand. And what happened with you at the house, what happened with the cameraman at the house, this is this tip of the iceberg. So this may provide incredible new definition for what's going on in these cases. This is a life-changing experience because I never thought this would happen to me.
After the night of Adam's meltdown, his behavior continues to be disturbing. The very next day, he tells me to go into the bathroom of the house, to smash the mirror, and to slit my throat with the broken glass. He's no longer himself, and after a couple days of this, I have no choice but to remove him from my crew. Jay, my other camera guy, tries to get Adam some help, but he refuses. With the effects of the house seeming to take down members of my crew now, I decide to accelerate the situation by boarding myself up in the house, sealed up, alone, overnight, and let whatever may be haunting it take its best shot at me. I know this sounds stupid, but the investigator inside of me wants to experience it.
Been a long time.
It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm okay. I want to seal myself inside here.
When?
I'm gonna start in about 15 minutes.
By yourself?
Yeah. The last piece of plywood goes on that front door. And that last piece of plywood is gonna get screwed in with me inside.
But if something goes on that you cannot control, you're gonna contact me so that I can come to contact the fire department to bust in the door. Is that a problem?
No.
Okay, all right.
That's fine.
Good luck.
I have a phone, my crew, so I can talk to them, text them. Pretty weird feeling just knowing that you're completely sealed inside a house, let alone this house. And I'm really afraid to turn that light out. That's like my safety chain right there, that light. And I don't want to. I just heard it. I heard a female voice in the kitchen. Get away from me. Get away. Back the fuck up.
Oh my god, my eyes. Ow. Ow. Fuck. Fuck. Get the fuck out of here!
The following day, my eyes begin to cross, resulting in double vision. I develop a serious eye condition called diplopia. After multiple neurological tests conducted in Las Vegas and California, doctors are unable to determine the cause for this sudden affliction. I am now forced to wear prism glasses, as my condition is now permanent. Corrective surgery done in both my eyes runs the risk of total blindness. Shortly after his interview, Kevin Ammons was kicked out of his family's apartment. They claim something dark transferred from me to him. Ever since his meltdown, Adam refuses to speak with me or about the house. It appears that the time he spent in the house is still having an effect on him. He even got the numbers 666 tattooed on both his hands. The same place he'd felt the dark energy touch him in the hotel room.
There's something, like, touching my hand right now.
Dr. Barry Taft continues to have health problems. Doctors are still searching for the cause of his mysterious organ failure. I'm reminded of the toll the house has taken on nearly everyone who's visited there. Valerie Washington moving away and seeking therapy. The other CPS case manager who suffered motorcycle burns and a broken hand, ankles, and ribs shortly after being in the house. The home inspector who was diagnosed with cancer. Father Mike's bike accident, Captain Austin's fall and rush to the ER, Erica's suicide attempt, Adam's meltdown and the aftermath in his life. Even Chief Miller claimed that something may have followed him home from the house one night.
Something came back with him. I don't know if it was that demon, but something came, and I don't want it back.
And finally, the permanent damage to my eyes. So I decide it's time for the house to go away.
This was a portal to hell.
I was told not to even go in the house.
You tear that motherfucker down and what you gonna put boots on the world?
Most of the house was hauled away to be buried in a landfill. I wanted to make sure the house never harmed anyone else again. But as an investigator and a collector, I couldn't just let it all go. So I kept some of it, including the basement stairs and some of the dirt. Even though the house is gone, A police officer told me that people keep showing up and doing satanic rituals on the empty lot. Like I said at the beginning, this story is cursed.